Kyle Collins. This is my wife Patty Simon. We live at 4519 Gaston Avenue. And the reason I like this neighborhood is because I was born in Baylor Hospital, so I live 5 blocks from where I was born. And you?
I married you, so no. This area reminds me of home. I'm from the Northeast. I'm from the Buffalo, New York area, and what is considered a historic district here is just houses where I'm from. But this feels like home. These old craftsmen's and Victorians and the neighborhoods that you can walk in and porches you can sit on, and you know your neighbors. You don't pull into a garage and walk right from the garage inside your house because it's all connected. You actually see people when you get out of your car. And it's a community, it's a neighborhood, it's historic because it's older houses, and the people that dare live in these houses and take them on and love them and restore them, we're all a little bit touched, but it makes this a kooky, fun, eclectic, historic neighborhood. And we love it. Everything's within walking distance.
Because we're kind of kooky.
We are kooky. Everything's within walking distance, driving distance. Every highway you want to get on is super close. You've got the Arts District within, what, a mile or two?
American Airlines Centers.
Deep Ellum.
You can ride your bikes practically to anywhere downtown, and people have the porch parties, and they drink the beer, the wine, and you get to meet your neighbors, and it's just really fun. And it's not the cookie cutter neighborhood as you see in suburbia America. It's houses that were built in 1890, turn of the century, 1910, 1920 bungalows. I mean, it's a fantastic neighborhood, and it's an up-and-coming neighborhood that people really want to live in, and people are moving from suburbia America to downtown Dallas.
Because of the convenience. You're not sitting in traffic for an hour and a half trying to get home. You got a 5-minute commute, which is nice. I get home to make dinner.
So the house that we bought and live in at 4519 Gaston was owned by J.T. Elliott. Who was
built by J.T. Elliott.
Built by J.T. Elliott in 1906. He built the one we're in and the one next door for his 2 daughters.
So he built ours for his daughter Sally, and the one next to us for his daughter Nancy. Nancy was married to the first postmaster
in Dallas. I have the obituary where they had the funeral for J.T. Elliott, who built our house and one next door in 1919. And but
the funeral in 1919.
Right.
Built the house in 1919.
And they had the funeral at the house.
We heard that they had moved out of that house in early 20s because the traffic started getting too loud on the street. And I mean, you think about it, like, you know, you've got Model Ts and all of this stuff driving around now, right?
Started the automobile,
right?
yeah.
And apparently the traffic got so crazy on Gaston Avenue, and it was not as wide as it is now. And the traffic got so crazy, they sold the house. And a lot of those houses, they all moved out to Oak Lawn. That's where they moved anyway. So what happened was in the 20s, people started moving out, and the houses became boarding homes because they needed housing. It was a boom. So our house was a boarding house for a period of time. And then in the early 40s, they sold off the back half of our lot, which had the carriage house and the servants' quarters. And the money that they made from that, they put into renovation, and they turned our house into a 9-apartment building. So it went from a single-family home to a boarding house to 9 apartments.
And it was pretty common for all the houses.
A lot of them,
a lot of them on Swiss were the same.
So when we bought the house, it had 9 apartments in it, which they shared bathrooms. So there was a bathroom between 2 units. So every one of the rooms, it's basically a 4 square. So it's 4 rooms downstairs, 4 rooms upstairs. Every room was an apartment. And the hallway is massive. It's 12 feet wide. They had turned that into an efficiency. So it was very interesting as we started tearing things out. It was like a little archaeologic dig every day that we went in there, and we started finding that we had 12-foot ceilings that we didn't know we had. And we had 3 fireplaces that we didn't know we had.
Do you guys have a pretty active neighborhood association, and how are you involved in that?
Actually, it's the Peaks Edition Neighborhood Association. I'm actually on the board, so I'm very active. We have different. We have a Christmas party. We have different parties. We have get-togethers, and we have a monthly meeting that kind of informs the neighborhood of what's going on within the neighborhood. We have crime alerts where some of the Dallas Police Department comes and tells us what's going on and what crimes.
Well, they always say we've got a bubble and nothing happens because everybody's out watching.
Yep, yep, and that's something with these historic homes. Everybody is out and about on the porches. If you see some shenanigans by any of the neighborhood kids or whatever, you're going to hear about it. So that's what I like. It's a close knit community.
Have you seen any significant changes in the neighborhood?
You know, I think the changes are slow coming, partly because we as neighbors are so adamant that this is going to remain historic, and so this isn't going to be a neighborhood where you're going to bulldoze this whole block and put up some high rise. These are going to be houses that are going to get restored, and so people have to have the vision and the faith to take those projects on. And so it's maybe slower than some of the neighborhoods, but that's preserving the character of the neighborhood.
And what do you hope to see happen in the neighborhood? Like, what is your vision for the future here?
I would like to see more historic new builds and make it a true neighborhood again instead of all the apartments and new apartment complexes that are being built. I would like to see people invest their time and money into a lot or a dilapidated house that needs to be torn down, and for the good of the neighborhood that they build a historic house.
I think that we need more retail. I think Gaston Avenue is prime for opportunity for some of these older buildings to be converted into restaurants or, you know, a bakery or a butcher shop or something we can walk to. We need more walkability. The neighborhoods are very walkable, but we need more places to walk to. And I think that gives you eyes on the street. You know, we have a diverse community. We've got all ranges of socioeconomic scale here, and that gives you people coming and going at different times to their homes, which makes it safe because there's people out at all times. You know, people are coming home from the night shift and other people are leaving early for work. And that makes it very safe, and I like that. I don't want to change that. But I think we need some retail in the area that we can walk to, restaurants and shops. Yeah. It's a great neighborhood. I mean, I think since we've moved into our house, and we've been in our house 4 years, right?
Yeah.
4 years now. I have met more people. I know more people. I mean, good friends, good, solid, salt of the earth people live in this neighborhood. And I mean, again, all walks of life, different socioeconomic scales, great people, very friendly community, and we'd love to have more people like that in the neighborhood.
I would say live beyond the norm. Come take an adventure in Old East Dallas and appreciate the historic Dallas of the turn of the century.